This might not be the live video we were expecting, but it's the one you're getting. I know it's kind of late and it's Sunday night, so I don't know how many people are going to join, but I wanted to do this. Just to break up from the 2021 Playmates Godzilla repaint, the one that's in the background. I wanted to do this guy. I also just got this guy today. Hey everyone! Hello, hello, hello. Hello everyone who's joining. In this live stream, I'm going to be painting the Playmates Burning Godzilla, the classic one. When will the next 2021 Godzilla stream be? Probably sometime next week. Uh, I still haven't really done anything with him since last stream. But I just got this guy in today, and I wanted to, because I've pretty much only been working on him right now on stream, and I wanted to break it up with something else. So I'm doing Burning Godzilla, the classic one. Yes, Spencer, I did see that video. I am the one who linked him to a free version of 8 vs Monster on YouTube. That's what, that's what launched that whole thing. So I've already gone over and done like the basic work for this guy, which is just the black base coat. Mostly because I didn't want to do that on stream. It'd kind of be monotonous. It would take up a majority of the stream just doing black, and I wanted to do the more interesting thing because like this guy in the background who has the blue, this guy is gonna be a similar situation. So I'm like the base color I'm going to use for the burning patches more specifically isn't what you would expect, but I've done this before a long time ago on a different burning Godzilla figure, and it worked out for me. So that's what I'm going to do here. Before I start out, how's everyone doing? Like how is everyone doing tonight? Now there's noise outside, so car is passing by the window. What can you do? Doing good, great, good. Doing good, good, good. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Weren't doing that good till I started streaming? Oh, that's unfortunate. Hopefully my stream brings up your night. So, we have our Burning Godzilla here, who is already painted all black. First, like, in my opinion, this sculpt is probably the best Playmate sculpt so far. Uh, the base paint is kind of not that good, so like the main reason why I'm repainting it. The spines were actually pretty good, but I wanted to make it all consistent, so I wasn't just gonna leave the spines how they were. I also have plans to do them a little bit nicer. So for this figure, I have my secondary phone pulled up with where I need to paint, which doesn't really matter right now. What paint do you use? I use Apple paints for like these stuff. For this stuff, I also use Tamiya paints, alcohol-based paints. Those are kind of expensive, so I only use them for certain things when I need to really get good coverage. These Apple paints excuse me. These Apple paints work out pretty well as long as you thin them enough so that they're not too thick, and as long as you know how to really paint, you can do some pretty good things with them. The colors that they have and the pigmentation is pretty good. Okay, so yeah, it's a pretty good just Heisei mold. There's some issues I have with it, like the spines, the middle row's kind of weird looking, and like these spines look like they're sunken in. But shoot, don't want to mess up that. That's fine. But it is what it is. The paint isn't the best on the base figure, but it's a pretty decent, like, Heisei, just general body. Especially since these guys aren't available anymore. This guy, I would say, is the best, like, Heisei general thing for anything. But since they're not really easy to come by anymore, since this line took over, this is pretty good. Not articulated, but easy to come by. You can find them at Target or Walmart. If the distribution wasn't as bad as it is, though, because, like, I hadn't seen this guy for, like, a month or two. So, gonna 3D print a Playmates Godzilla beam? Cool. So, for this guy, we're going with white to start out, as white allows the colors that I'm gonna apply next to be very vibrant and to really stand out. Also, you might see that the tail isn't base coated yet, mostly because I'm probably going to be holding on to it a little bit, and I didn't want to have to like redo the whole thing. So for Burning Godzilla burning patches, we need to start out with white. Why do we need to start out with white, you might ask? Well, starting out with white allows us... Also, make sure the white paint's pretty thin, because white paint tends to be pretty thick and chalky. So I've thinned this out a decent bit, so it doesn't ruin the details. Why do we need to start out with white? We need to start out with white because bright colors don't show up well on black paint or black plastic. So you need a light base to work off of. A lot of people for this kind of stuff, if it's a lot of color all over the body, they would start out with a gray base coat instead of a black base coat. However, since it's just the burning patches, and it's literally just like red, orange, and yellow in specific areas, I'm opting for a black base coat with white over the areas that I need it, and then we're going to go over with black and color in like where the pattern needs to stop. So it doesn't take too much. White paint is typically has pretty good coverage, and you don't really need a super duper vibrant white for the base that we're going to use here, because it's not like the main thing we're going to be seeing. It's just so we can have a lighter background for the colors to go over. So, hold on while I grab my little reference on my phone real quick. I need to know where to stop the burning patches. So it's going to continue over to the arm. It's actually going to continue... Gotta straighten out this arm a little bit. It's going to continue down here. Or the secondary phone, because I'm using my phone as a camera right now. I have a second one, an old one that I just use for reference photos when I'm streaming or something. So we're going to need white up here. Always have reference photos. Reference photos will save your life. White go up here. Okay. So we have some streaks along down here. So we're going to go with this. There's a streak that comes up. Got to make sure I'm looking at the right suit as well. There's two Burning Godzilla suits if you don't know. There is the one using the 94 and there's one using the 93. The 93 was only using water scenes and has a different burning pattern because they didn't keep it consistent. So we're going to go up here. And for the white base coat, you could just kind of go everywhere because you're going to you're going to cover it up with black later on anyways. And that black will allow you to just sort of fill in over what you don't need, which gives you a lot of room to work. Let me see what the chat's saying. Hey, do you have any advice on how to customize your figures? Well, this stream is sort of that. I'll be going over live my process and how I do like stuff like this, repainting. For sculpting, I have a video on a Godzilla skin. I'm going to make a video on the basics of sculpting. I'm still working out the details. I'm gonna go over some like basics later on in videos. Heard you made a Rise of Goju for Luis Duran. That was in like 2018, 2019. So that's kind of old. So when you woke up, crack of dawn, poured yourself a bowl of cereal. Helder, what is that? How did you make MG? I just sort of went with the flow and I used joints I already had. Okay, so we have... Where do we need more white? We need more white on this shoulder. just gonna... Gotta be careful with my tripod so I don't throw it off. Throw my phone down. His legs are also kind of weird. We're gonna go down here. Over this shoulder. Come on, man. Straighten out your legs. I want you to stand properly. I need to get a good view of what I'm doing. Okay. We're going to adjust the camera a little bit. Okay, so we're actually going to need white on the other side of the shoulder on here, because I've just remembered he has it all over his arms, or all over his shoulders, more like. So all the way back here, up here, move his arm down, up here. Like I said, it's going to look pretty strange right now, as this is just sort of the basis for our colors. Which orange came first, the color of the fruit? The fruit came first, and the actual color was called something different originally. What are your thoughts on this base figure? The sculpt is pretty good, or like it's the best Playmates sculpt they've done. It's not the best. There's some issues I have with it, but it's pretty good overall. The paint is kind of not the greatest at all, and the material is decent. The tail feels really rubbery for some reason. It's really weird. Overall, it's probably the best Playmates figures that's come out, like, ever. Do you have Discord? Check my About tab on YouTube. There's a link to my Discord server on there. It was kind of crazy before. I'm sort of pulling the reins back, and it's sort of calmed down a little bit. So, pretty nice community. Just be aware that there's going to be, like, their Discord has a 13, like, you have to be at least 13 years old for a reason. You might be quitting your YouTube channel. Any advice, though? Don't quit your YouTube channel. Just keep going. Even if you need time off, just always keep it around. Keep going. What's your favorite Godzilla design? The 1992 design or Shin? The chaos has sort of calmed down, like, recently, so I'm not afraid to suggest people to go there. Okay, I need more reference material on Burning Godzilla as to where I need to put these white pieces for the red patches. So on this arm, Burning Godzilla actually has red going down. Is that to his elbow? That's to his elbow. Okay, that's interesting. It's not a lot, but it's there. So I wanna make sure I have enough white over everything in order to properly... How far does this go up? This goes all the way up to here. In order to properly paint it in. So we're going to get all this over here. Are you painting him the normal color or something? No, I'm painting him to Burning Godzilla. Just, I need the white as a base so that the yellow and orange pops out enough. And the red as well, because the red would look super dark if I don't have white underneath. And the white makes it really, really pop. Really pop. Okay, what else do I need? Okay, so it stops down here. I'm just going to go down here just a little more so I can be sure about that. We need... Obviously, we're going to need his patch down here. And that comes over all the way onto this side. And all the way over here. Probably going to need to make it a lot bigger than it actually is in order to give me room to actually design that design it has. And to give me a bit more leeway when painting. It's always good to base coat your figures, because this paint would not have stuck to the figure this well if I didn't do the black base coat. The black base coat makes all the plastic a consistent texture, and typically it makes it easier to paint on because most plastics like this, these sort of smooth plastics, this is like a vinyl, but it's very smooth. So like it's very difficult for paint like this to really stick. The black, however, really helps that white paint stick. Okay. You sound pretty young for your age. You mean me? Maybe. I kind of think I sound like a little younger than I am. I'm 19. What do you think of the 1998 Godzilla movie? It's not the best movie. It's not the worst thing in the world. I don't really like it, but I can see why people do. It has its charms. I don't hate it. Like I don't completely hate it though. It's not my favorite, but not the worst. Okay, what else do I need? I don't want pictures of the 2019 Burning Godzilla. I want 1995. Where are you? Images of 1995 suit. Here we are. This is what I was looking for. I needed this. Come on, I don't. Just give me what I want. Okay, so this goes over here. We actually have some little specks in between here, so I'm gonna basically just have to paint everything in. Do you have a girlfriend? No, I do not. What are you doing? I'm just doing the base coat, or for the white is so that the red, yellow, and orange paints can actually pop out. So for this part, we need, or I need, I don't know, I like saying we, I need to go over the legs, but where do I stop? So I guess I'm just gonna go kind of crazy on the legs because the legs are just kind of everywhere. So we're gonna go down here. We are going to. I know he has a little tiny strip up here in this little fat roll, I guess you could call it. So I need to go up there. Need to get this all done here. Snow Godzilla. Yeah, people are gonna think this is Snow Godzilla, aren't they? This is just Burning Godzilla. This is just how I paint him because the white is sort of integral to making it really pop. The white's all gonna be painted over with yellow, orange, and red. So don't expect it to be like to show because it's not supposed to. It's just it's just so that the colors over top will actually pop out a lot. Because without it, they are very, very dark, and it's very hard to really see when you have like yellow over it or orange or red, since like I said, it gets very dark, and it just doesn't look as good. Okay, so I'm looking for more reference photos real quick. I want pictures of the suit because the suit pattern is the one I'm trying to emulate. We're just gonna. I'm just gonna eyeball it for this stuff right here. Okay. That's that. And then we need to do this side, which we start down here because I'm pretty sure this one starts a little bit lower. We go over. And because this is just like base coats, you gotta make sure your paint's thin first and foremost so the details don't get obliterated. Especially for figures like this that don't have the deepest of sculpts. And I kind of neglected that with this stroke, but it is what it is. And you can just kind of go crazy with it. Since this is the base coat, all this is going to be covered up by more paint later on. So you can just go with whatever. It doesn't really matter. There's no rhyme or reason to doing base coats since, like I said, they're literally just there to be painted over, just to make other paints pop. So doesn't really matter how crazy you go with it. No one's gonna see it anyways. Go a little bit more back here. Go more over here. Okay, now we got those done. And this white paint is matte, so it's drying out pretty quick. We're gonna just clean off my brush. What's your favorite kaiju if you follow me on Instagram? Thank you. What's your favorite Godzilla movie? Godzilla vs. Mothra 1992. When do you plan on making a custom NECA Godzilla 2004? In the future, not right now though. Uh, yeah, maybe don't reveal your age online. It's not really the best. Well, when you're under 18, don't reveal your age online. It's not the best thing to do. When you're over 18, just say you can say how old you want, how old you are whenever you want. Doesn't really matter since you're an adult. But when you're still a minor, I would suggest not saying your own age online. Especially when you're younger than 13, which you're not technically supposed to be allowed on YouTube under 13. Okay, so for the spines, this is where I'm not gonna go crazy because I don't like painting the black parts in. I like having those be underneath all the colors. And Burning Godzilla. Hang on, you guys gotta get some more reference photos. Burning Godzilla is kind of weird with that since the red is technically underneath, but the same principles kind of apply here. So this also gives me a very good opportunity to show how I paint dorsal spines because uh, I've mostly been doing like 70s customs recently for general Godzillas, and I haven't been able to. The spines look like gummy bits. I haven't been able to really showcase me dry brushing spines, so I'm not going to actually use this brush. That brush isn't the best for dry brushing because I need to dry brush the stuff on in order to make it look nice so that when the colors go over top, it's still going to look nice. Okay, so we go and dry brush this. Start out with just the very tips. Once we go at the very tips of the spines, we're just going to do a couple of them so that this doesn't take forever. Start at the very tips of the spines. Those are where you want the most color first. And now you want to just sort of go down more, continue your dry brushing. Add another layer. Tips of the spines are going to be brighter. The other layers are going to be not as bright, obviously, as they're freshly applied. So the tips get lighter. The more you add, you continue to go down as the other areas with your dry brushing, and the other areas will remain sort of this darker color. Add some more. Tips continue to get brighter. The inner parts continue to stay dark, but as you go in, closer to the tips, they're going to be brighter and brighter. Need a little bit more paint. Wipe that off. Wipe it off so it's not visibly wet. And you're going to go again. Just the very tips of the spines. You're going to move into the center. You will want to paint the area in between the spines, as typically those are white on Godzilla designs. It's never just the parts that stick out. So it's almost like you just got to continue to paint that. Especially for the Heisei Godzilla, that this design typically has it go all the way, which is why for lower end figures, they're typically just like a black circle in the middle of the spine, which is kind of lazy, kind of cheap. I know the NECA 94 did that, and then which didn't look that good. Then the 89 did sort of this method where it was applied a lot better. It looked a lot nicer. You just continue like this. This also brings out a lot of the details. Like all this detail here, you couldn't really see it before. And it makes it look a lot nicer. If this was just supposed to be like a normal Godzilla, this was generally how it would look. Probably a little bit, probably a couple more layers just to really make it pop out. But since this is just sort of a, this right here is just sort of just a tutorial, just how to do that while I do the whole base coating of it. Uh, it's gonna look a little different when I'm done with this, since this is just a base coat, just to, like now I'm gonna go a little bit more ham-handed and a little bit more crazy because, like I said, this is just a base coat. It's not really what you're gonna see. I'm gonna be covering this with other colors. But if you wanted to get a nice looking Godzilla spine, that's how you would do it. You would do it. I need to take it off camera real quick. You would do it like that, just so you can get a nice looking spine. What are you guys saying? Can you start doing tutorials? I will probably record like this, what I just did right now, set like as a separate thing later on, and probably upload like painting tutorials, how to paint Godzilla's dorsal spines and stuff later on. Something I was always kind of wanted to do. Uh, this burning Godzilla here, though, this is sort of just the base coat, so I'm just not being as inherently careful, since I'm going to be covering a lot of this up with red, just to make it pop. But I still want to be decently cautious with what I do, so I'm not just covering it all in white, because that doesn't always look good. Just go like this. Get it all just covered, just generally, so I can have a nice base. This is typically the speed I do it at as well. I do it pretty quickly. For spines. Just depends on what I'm painting, though. It depends on what look I'm going for. So the Playmates Burning Godzilla is kind of weird. It has like tips of the spines in the skin itself instead of, like, it seems like this should be like up a little bit more, but it's not. So I'm gonna have to like go over the back with black later on just to cover up any mishaps that happen. Okay. There we have this spine here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm only going to paint up to here right now because I'm going to do the burning patches first. And then I'll do the white spines, which is this down later on. It might look like these are just generic Godzilla spines because that's kind of what it looks like as the base coat. Because I like to be really detailed with this stuff. But I'm going to only do the burning spines for right now. And I like to go super accurate, so I don't like the all red spine look. It's not my cup of tea. Looks kind of, doesn't look right in my opinion. Just how I am. Go over this. I'm going to be a little bit more ham-handed here. Like I said, this is just a base coat. I'm going to cover it up with a lot of paints later. However, I don't want it to look unpresentable, so just got to go like this. Get a good layer of paint on it so I can paint later with brighter colors. Sorry if I'm repeating myself a lot, but there's always new people joining in and leaving and joining and hopping in and out, so I always got to make sure I am clearly stating what I'm doing so that people who are just joining can follow along. Did I accidentally wipe off too much paint? I did. Yeah, that's a little bit messy, so I might have to clean that up later. Yeah, that's way too messy. Hang on. There we go, that's a little bit nicer. I'm kind of rushing right now too. I shouldn't be rushing like this. Typically I don't, but on stream I kind of tend to rush a little bit more than I probably should. Just a habit. Ah, come on. That's what happens when you rush. You get weird things like that happening. Okay, we got this. This going down here. What paint job are you giving that Godzilla? This is Burning Godzilla. I'm doing white first on all the burning patches because it allows the paint to really stand out. Is this a commission? No, this is just my own personal custom that I'm doing just for fun. Because sometimes doing something relatively simple like a vinyl is pretty fun. Make sure this lines up with the other side so that it looks consistent when I go over with red and yellow and orange. And all the cool colors Burning Godzilla has. Which is like all of the appeal to the design compared to the other Heisei Godzillas. Okay. Took them off screens for a second just to get a good view of what I'm doing. We're going to quickly do the inside of the spines. Kind of be a little bit more messy here. Just don't go overboard with how messy you're being, because you still want it to look good overall. Don't want to be lazy and just skip out on areas that aren't normally seen, as that isn't the best looking. Okay. We are going a little bit more here. I'm also kind of rushing because I know it's kind of boring to just see white just go everywhere instead of Burning Godzilla's colors, the red and stuff. Or majority orange. Burning Godzilla's more orange than red. But I'm going to use red first because it's cool. But I know it's kind of boring to just see white go everywhere, so kind of trying to speed up the process, even if it's not what I would normally do. Normally I would be a lot slower than this. I'd probably go... You can't really see anyways. Well, that was not that good. I would go like this, a lot slower, probably a little slower than this, just to be thorough with it. But that's what I'm doing right now. Looks pretty good on that side. You're going over this. Maybe I'll get another Burning Godzilla, just do sort of normal 94 colors. Just do that entirely on stream from like base figure to completion. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to finish Burning Godzilla tonight. This is way too thick up here. But something like 94 with just black and white and then the mouth and the eyes and the claws. That'd probably be doable on stream. Probably be pretty fun. I just had to find another Burning Godzilla to do it with. This figure's distribution is not that good. It's sort of like super hard to find for some reason, so it's not easy to get a hold of. Like I was lucky my Target even had one. I go to that Target like daily. So kind of being a little bit too ham-handed here. Probably go a little bit slower. Burning Godzilla is more glowy orange and yellow. Pretty sure the only red is on the eyes and the dorsal fins. He has a little bit of red in the actual patches themselves, but it's a majority of like orange and yellow, like you said. Here, this is just the base coat, so it's not the white's not really going to show later on. So it's just so that the yellow and orange and red that I put on later pop out a lot more. Now it's the middle row. Once these spines are base coated, I should be able to start painting the actual like Burning Godzilla colors. And I'm going a little bit too messy here, which I don't really like, but it is what it is for right now. It is what it is. I need a drink. Oh, my drink's empty. Well, okay. Should have planned a little bit better than that for streaming. Talking a lot takes a very big strain on my voice. Okay, we're gonna go up here. Dry brush around this side. A. Got to go all around. Okay, just the other side. Checked Amazon, they have these. Ooh, that's interesting. So I'll probably have to order a couple off of Amazon then. Just to repaint. Probably go slower than this for like the actual normal colors, Burning Godzilla that I would, or normal colors Godzilla, but because I want it to look nice all around. This is just base coating, so doesn't really matter if it's super duper sloppy or not the best looking. Because like I'm being pretty sloppy on these middle spines right now since it's on camera for one. It's sort of hard to maneuver around it, and two, this is just a base coat, so it doesn't really matter. Like that middle spine there is pretty sloppy. I don't really like how that looks, but I'll clean it up later when I put all the other colors on. Okay, so here's Burning Godzilla so far. All white parts of the spines. We're going to dip this into the water, clean this brush off. What's your next custom be? Zilla or NECA 05? Do what you want to do most. Just do what you want to do most, basically. If you want to do NECA 05, do it. If you want to do Zilla, do it. Why don't the spines aren't important? Well, the spines vary because the light's inside, so I just want them to be a little bit more vibrant, so they stand out. Okay, so first of all, okay, what color should I go with first? I'm thinking orange first as the base thing. That's what almost every other figure does. However, I think I'm gonna go with red first as the base. Just not too much red, just a bit. Just to have a decent transition between the orange and the yellow, just to give it some more variation at the very bottom. The very, very bottom of this. And this is coming out a little bit too pink. That doesn't, I don't really care. We're just gonna, that's a little bit too pink. Who cares? I'm just gonna put it on anyways. Darker I put it, the brighter it'll look, so. Not too much, just in some spots to get it underneath in those cracks. Just to start out like this. For the orange, I'm probably going to paint every single little area. For the red right now, it's just to darken it up and give it a little bit more of a underlying color. In majority, just right here in the front, just to give it a little bit more variation. Okay, that's that. That's a little bit more pink than I would like, but it is what it is. We're going to take our yellow and our red, and we're going to watch a piece of this fall off, and then we're going to mix these two together to make a nice orange. Here we are. I've mixed up my orange. Now I need, take this orange. We're just gonna, maybe we're gonna wait for that to dry a little bit more. We're gonna go on to the shoulder to show this off with a pretty vibrant orange. And we're just gonna cover up. Here's a good example for why I needed this white. So I'm gonna, as you can see here, I'm going over these white parts with orange. It's pretty vibrant. If I go over the black like this, the orange doesn't look vibrant at all. It just looks like nothing. Like, it turns this pretty ugly color. So I need this orange here to make it all stand out a good amount, make it look nice. And we're just gonna completely cover up all these white parts. It's gonna look sloppy right now, but like I said, it's all in like the little things. When I go over with black later on, it's gonna look a lot nicer. This red here is more to give it this nice variation. As I go in, it darkens it up. It looks a lot nicer. Let me put this down real quick. I'm going to go through here. And as we continue down, this is why I wanted the red. We are just going to quickly pass over it. And the red gives us this deeper color in the middle of the chest with these nice little red highlights underneath. When we go over with yellow, we're gonna continue this sort of look. It's just gonna expand upon it later on, basically. I gotta thin out this paint a little bit more. just so that it has better coverage. I'm going to go over with a second layer over here. Since this first layer has dried out, just to keep it a little bit more vibrant. I need to do a quick check. Okay, we're gonna go over here. Redder on the outer edge, more yellow on the center. Kind of. The Burning Godzilla suit sort of changes around. I'm probably going to go over with red on the outside later on, as it looks like the orange is under the red in a lot of screenshots. But I'm just sort of eyeing it, just sort of going off of reference photos and kind of just sort of whatever. I just want some more variation on it. I'm going to go over with a darker color around the edges later. Okay, we need to go over here. Almost dipped my brush in the black. That would have been bad. It turns out I did dip it into a little bit of black. Well, yeah, the burning patches are transparent. That's how they light up. But there's still paint over top all of it. Go around it like this. Want to make sure all of these little white bits are covered up. Doesn't need, or not all of them, but a majority of them, just so it doesn't look super out of place. Because you can have some of them there, they just look like super intense light. Okay. Here's what we're looking at so far. You just need to go down over here. Cover up all the white. Make sure it looks nice. Or as nice as it can look right now before I go over with the black later on. As that's how Burning Godzilla should be done. It should be black over top all of it, not this on top of, like, trying to draw on the burning spots, as that typically doesn't look as nice. Looks pretty artificial, in my opinion. Like, I get it's a suit, it is artificial, but doesn't look as sort of natural as it probably should. And as I say that, I'm gonna still leave the white tail spines because suit accuracy. Go down here. Might be a little bit thick, but that's fine. I just kind of want to get all these burning patches done. Well, all of the base part of the burning patch is done. This orange is basically like the base coat on the base coat. It's just like the general color. Third level base coat inception. Because there's the black base coat, then there's the yellow base coat, now there's the orange base coat. How many more base coats are there going to be? They're all base coats for different things. Base coat for the body, base coat for the burning patches, base coat for the actual color. How much more base coats can you get? What type of orange are you using? I'm not using any specific type of orange. I just mixed yellow and red together. So I kind of want to get this done in this, like, whatever I mixed up. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to make this specific color of orange again. Which is typically how I sort of do things. I just mix up colors, make colors, instead of, like, using pre-bottled ones. Helps me learn how to, like, color match stuff. Go over this. Turn the 92 figure. I have plans of doing 92 with the NECA 89. So I have plans to do Burning Godzilla as well, but I saw the opportunity to do this, and basically everyone else do it as well. So I took my opportunity and went for it. You also need like an easy thing for a video. Cause this guy, I'm doing him all on stream. I'm gonna probably work on this a little bit off stream, just so I can have a video for this week. Because I haven't uploaded in almost 3 weeks, and that's not good for the YouTubes. Just go over this. All like this. Go over it all. More orange, more orange. All orange all the time. I'll probably add more colors to these later. Like, I'm going to add a lot of more color all over. I just need this consistent orange color all over the burning patches, so that it looks the same all over. So if it doesn't look the same, then, like, it's not going to look right. Also, see here, like, I can just sort of go over really fast, and that pattern, like, the white areas pick up more paint than the black, or at least more noticeable paint, and it makes it so I don't really have to do that much more effort than I already did. Just makes the whole process a lot easier. So, some little tips and tricks that I've picked up on over the years I've been customizing. And did I accidentally mess up the orange? I think I might have. Hang on while I quickly attempt to mix more orange. I want to see how close I can get to it. Might be a little bit too much yellow, but we'll see. Maybe a little bit too little yellow, actually. That's too little yellow anymore. It's too red. Okay, is that good? That close enough? Nope, that's not. That's a little bit too yellow now. And because of that, it's picked up some black pigment. And black pigment will absolutely ruin the look. Now, no, it should be the right orange. There we are. Go over some places like this that don't have the best coverage. Like up here. Down here, this looks a bit too yellow. This is what it's looking like right now. Gonna go over and fix some parts later just to make it look nicer. But what it looks like right now, just general burning orange everywhere. I'm gonna go in and add like just more colors later on. But for now, we doing this. Go over this. Like I said, I'm being a lot more sloppy than I would usually be. One, I'm on stream, not used to doing this like on camera live. I want to get this sort of make this interesting so it has some variation. Probably should slow down though, and two, this is sort of just based like not the super important stuff right now. I'll be cleaning a lot of this up later on. Just with like black and stuff. Just like the burning patches themselves are gonna be defined and they're gonna be shaped out with black later on. So I'm just doing the basics right now for this. Doesn't really matter too much. Can't really see in there. Got to cover up all that white because we don't want to be seeing the white. The white's there so that the orange pops more than it would if it was just on black. Just going over this. A little bit more sloppy than I would like, but just how it is right now. I'll clean it up all later. I'll clean all of it up later. I'm typically a lot slower, a lot more careful about it. I also don't really care about this figure. It's Playmates figure. A million of them everywhere. It's not a commission. It's not a custom I want to really, like, super important. Still want it to look good, obviously. You never want things to just look bad. But right now, I'm just going with the flow. I don't like that thing right there. I'm going to have to clean that up later. bit more orange. There's that general look I have for it right now. So now we are just going to, I'm just going to go over with another coat of orange just really quickly, fill in any spots that I think need more paint. Just pretty fast. Gonna be kind of sloppy with it. Gonna fix everything up later. Doesn't really matter right now. This is what we have right now. Please don't spam the chat. I do not want the chat to just be cluttered. So, please don't spam. Okay. What's next? Next, we're going to need to do the... We're going to go over with some yellow next. So we take some yellow paint. And I'm just going to take a good look at where the yellow is and how the yellow is in like the suit texture. So the yellow is underneath that. So I'm just going to need to go up into here. Just sort of all around, just wherever. And like I said, it's going to look like really messy-ish right now. It's all going to make sense later on when I go over it with the final colors. Go over it down here. Fill in a lot of the areas here. Kind of like a dry brush, but not at the same time. I'm going down deeper, but I'm also not going down all the way. Pretty interesting how Burning Godzilla looks, but it's the design. Okay, so he has the sort of pattern with the yellow here. This needs to continue down this way. We're just going to add a little bit of yellow up here. Oops, knocked the camera. What are you guys talking about? Hello everyone who's joining. I'm currently working on the burning patches. I need another good reference image of Burning Godzilla from like the side. You don't really get too many good images of him from the side. It's typically just from the front. So it seems like he doesn't really have much on his arms, but I'm just going to add a little bit on his arms just so that it has some paint variation. Add some back here. Go over here. Trail that up there. Kind of want it to be kind of random, kind of not, because that's kind of how it is on the suit. You have to go. You have a nice night. Have a nice night if you need to leave. I'm not holding you here. I'm not holding you. I'm not holding you hostage. You gotta go. You gotta go. Just how it is. Have a nice night, everyone who needs to go. A little bit of yellow back here. Gonna use some yellow to pick at all of the remaining white areas. So we got this here. Probably gonna do the spines after this so that I can really focus on them later. Yellow up here. And a bug entered the room. Great. Just wonderful. Just fantastic. Now there's a bug in the room. That's going to annoy me to no end. Go over this. Go over here. You have the yellow mostly done. The next color over this would be... Now the red goes on. So clean off this brush. Get this. Now we get some red paint. And we're going to take this. And then we use red around areas. This is going to be more like, kind of more like a dry brush than anything else. Red around areas like this. I'm going to go over this area. Red comes up here. There is red down here. On this side. Above here. The red's going to look more orange, but that's kind of the point. So that it sort of balances out the yellow. Sort of dry brush this on here. So that the yellow is more in underneath like the rest of the colors. Over here. Up on his shoulder. Back here. Gonna go a little bit heavier now. Just to kind of bring it out. On this side, we're going to go over it again, around. We're going to cover up that yellow a little bit. Because on the suit, the yellow is sort of underneath all the scales. So, I picked up yellow on accident. That's not good. Here's what the chest looks like right now. A lot more variations, a lot more colors. Colors under other colors. A lot of stuff everywhere. So I'm going to actually make this a little bit more red, as that's how it looks like on the suit. Just going to go with a little bit deeper of a red. over top of that, and over top here, and on this side. Better if you could see that. Okay. That's what that part's looking like right now. We need red down here. I'm going to take this. We're going to go over that. I don't want that on there. Is this in focus? Come on, focus camera. Here we are. So like the suit has this yellow sort of ring there. So we're just gonna go over this thigh now. That's a little bit too much red. We're gonna tone back. Go over it. And this red on top really like seals the deal for the look in my opinion. Because the suit, because it's translucent, near the tips of the burning patches, it gets a lot darker. And having the lighter colors underneath all of this this red here mimics that look. So that's what I'm doing here. And once the black is applied over top of it, it's going to really match Burning Godzilla's look that he has in the movie. Which is what I'm going for. Here we are. More red over top of this. We're going to make it darker near the outer areas, just sort of intensify where it is. And lighten it near the centers so that the yellow shows through a little bit better. And so that takes presence. Ah, that's too thick, that's too thick, too thick. You don't want it to be that thick. That's overbearing. You don't want it to be overbearing. You want it to blend in nicely. Now this is what the burning patches look like. Lots of variation. Lots of nice little details and colors. I think now I can start filling in the blacks. So for that, we're going to take... Which brush would be best for this? One that looks like this. So we're going to take some black. Got to be very careful with this. It's always better to go bigger than to make the patches too small, which is what Playmates ended up doing. So we're going to... There isn't much color here, so we're just going to fill this in. We're going to trail up. This is dry brushed on. And then this comes around like that. We're going to need some more black. I need more black paint on my palette. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just getting some more black and thinning it out a little bit so that it sort of follows a line a little bit better. Hello, if you're just joining. I've painted the burning patches on Burning Godzilla, and I am simply filling in the black areas now. So this comes down like this, and this continues forward like that, kind of. That might be a little bit too. I might have messed that up a little bit, but we're just gonna go with it. Burning Godzilla. I might need a smaller tip brush than this. Where is my very small brush? There we are. Okay, this will work a little bit better. We're going to go here. This part of the neck, we're going to start to fill in. This part ends up pretty thin up here. So we're just going to go down here. And we are... Hang on, I gotta close the door to my room. Okay, that's better. So where were we? We're painting Burning Godzilla's burning patches. I need to do the neck piece. To thin this out, might be a little bit too thin. You're just gonna have to work with it and try to get what I'm going for down. So how far down on the chest? So this part down here comes to about here. It breaks off there and there, and then it's wipe this off. More of a dry brush on this side. And then it comes up and then it breaks off there as a dry brush, while also on this side it's pretty big, almost breaking off into that area, and then it comes up here. And then on this side we have this piece which runs down on the length of this, and this here. We're gonna go. I might have messed up here, but I think I can tie it together if I act quickly and think smart. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I fixed it. Okay, then this over on this side doesn't really exist. So this gets covered up. And then the burning patch simply jumps over the shoulder there, while this is black. So this is what it's looking like right now. How's it look so far, guys? How's he looking now? Like, I know he looked pretty strange earlier, being all white and then like solid colors, but now that I'm adding in the black pieces, which I'm going to like sort of muddy them a little bit by dry brushing a little bit so that they aren't like defined lines like this, so that it sort of transitions into it. Might be a little bit of an issue up here, but that's how it is on the suit. Good, good, amazing, nice, good. Thank you. I don't know what the chat is right now, but that's why I'm trying to ask questions to get a little bit back on topic. More majority of you guys here are just here to like watch me actually work anyways, so I'm not super bothered by it, but it's a little strange. Dry brush this onto this. We are simply going to, I think I should continue over here. This goes down. This sort of has this texture like that. And then this shoots up into there. And it goes down. And it shoots up into it again. As it trails off down here. This needs to be raised up a little bit. And all of this down here is going to be filled in with black. Because this burning patch doesn't actually start till like his actual belly. So we're just going to go up here. Comes up like that. And then this shoots off a little bit. So we're going to need to darken that. Comes up back here, so we're just going to dry brush that there. And then this is actually an offshoot of this piece, which doesn't have a really defined shape, so I can sort of just dry brush onto here and continue that to this side. Came back and see Red Cheeto just onto it. Yeah, kind of. I'm sort of covering it up now with black. Are you going to complete this project on live? Probably not. I see I'm at 83 minutes, and my phone typically only lasts till like 100 minutes streaming, which is an hour and 30 minutes. But I'll go as far as I can. I go as far as I can with this, which I'm doing the burning patches right now, so like it's the majority of the cool stuff is done. This is just sort of looking at reference photos and filling in where it sort of dips in to the body. Like it goes in here and it goes in there. And then we have this here. And then this doesn't go up this high. I gotta make sure that this is still visible. I might actually make a last ditch effort to save this area by going up like this. Now I can let that dry and then I can go over it a little later. Just to continue that look. And I'm just going to go up on this side as well. Just to thicken it up so I can go over it later so that it's not completely covered up and ruined. So this goes up here. And then it comes down and then it cuts into there. And then it trails, that's too much black. And it trails off into there. And it comes up here. Photo quality isn't basically at 240. If the stream shouldn't be bad quality. It probably might be on your end. When I watch them back, they're as high quality as my camera on my phone was, which is 1080p. I think is YouTube's auto setting, but I don't know right now. Okay, so this I might have messed up a slight bit, but I think I can. Actually, no, I didn't. This is just how it looks. I'm just gonna go down here, and then we cut into here. And this is cut into there. So we're actually going to need a little bit more orange. And we're going to let that dry. Do you plan on making a custom articulated Zilla figure? Not currently, but I might do one in the future. So we're going to... That's this. That's on the neck. And this comes into here. And there. So this actually trails down here. And this should spiral out into here. So this actually continues down here. The burning patches are quite a bit smaller than I thought. This comes up into here. This goes over here. We have some sort of random black pieces of skin up in here. That's on there, and we have a little bit down here. And then this comes down. So this goes up, and then comes down, and then goes up again, and then loops down. That's where this is. And then this should be mostly like this dry brushing. And then this comes over on this side. And this grabs the very, very, very tip of that. And then it continues back into the body. So, here's what he's looking like right now. I think this should trail down more this way, and then again into there. And then that causes that to sort of close up, and then go in like that. And then we're going to go over here and cover this up a little bit while I go and take some more black from my brush. And then break this into two here so that that's a little bit straighter. And then finish this off up here. One of my cats just threw up. Great. Hairballs suck. Especially when you have to clean them up. Great. Yeah, the stream's at 90 minutes now. So we're just gonna go through here. Yeah, uh, I don't know why she threw up, but luckily it was on one of the the mats that I have in the room next to where their food and litter box is, so I can just clean it up real quick. But it is what it is right now. I gotta do it after the stream ends. She looks fine though. Sometimes she just does this when she gets a hairball, which are the worst right now since it's shedding season. So for the burning patches right now, I have to do add a little bit more down here, a little bit up here. I need to go in with a pretty thick line down into here, like that and like that. Wipe that off a little bit. And this is wider here. And then this comes down like this. And that thins out. This is like this. On this side, I come down and I go over here like that. As you can see, I'm kind of trying to mimic the suit pattern, like almost in its entirety. So it's a little bit of a process to really get it down correctly. As I gotta be like focusing on my references and looking at it like forward and back to make sure that it looks right. Burning Godzilla's burning patches are a lot smaller than I remember them being. You don't really realize until you're actually like painting it. There. That sort of covers the burning patch on the chest. So what that looks like. And then we have, there's like this little tiny sliver of burning stuff, like right here. Might not be the most accurate there, but it is what it is for right now. And then here I can just take one of the other brushes and just sort of go crazy because the black, like there's not really any burning parts here, so the black is the majority color. Want to go just cover this up just so the edges don't show. And then I can go down here because the burning patches also don't touch the edge in between like this part and the legs. So I can just go like this. And that gives me a pretty decent start into it. I can just dry brush it to give it that that look that Godzilla's burning patches have. Okay. Now I need to start actively detailing this. So this is here, so it's actually at its lowest point here, and it comes up like this. And then it comes up here, because this isn't actually even on the suit. Then it comes up, and then it goes back down a little bit, comes up again, goes down again, and then it goes up again as it trails off into this side portion here. And then we're going to wipe a little bit of this off to bring out a little bit more color. And then we try to fill this in with a dry brush to go over the burning patches. This side pretty much completely closes off around here. And it goes down like this. And there's black over top. Sort of transitioning it in. And then over here it's completely black. Down here there is, it's not that big of a detail, but it's just a small little piece here that juts out like that. And the rest of it's just like dry brushing, basically, just to give it that look that it's underneath, and it's exposing parts of the like on inside of Godzilla, basically. There is ever so slightly like this tiny little patch here, and then there is, it goes slightly down here, it comes up here like this, like that, it crosses down here a little bit, it goes up here as well, and then it comes down here, and then this needs to be thinned out, but I'm going to work on this a little bit later. So we're just going to take this, we're going to fill this in a little bit more because it's not that big on this side. It doesn't come that close to the edge. And then we just go like this. That's how the burning patches look so far. So that's how it's looking so far for the front of the body. What do you guys think? I think this might be a little bit too bright. So I might actually go in with an attempt. It's pretty late stage to do this, but I'm going to go in with a little bit of yellow like this. Like that. We're going to wipe this off a bit. And then we're going to take a tiny amount of red, and then we're going to slightly go over that. And then we're going to take a little bit of our black, and then go over the area that we painted over the yellow on with some more black. There we go. That looks a little bit nicer. That's also the same sort of pattern it has with the burning colors on the suit. So that works out. So the stream has just gone over 100 minutes. I think I've made some pretty good progress on this on stream, and I will probably continue. I will continue this off stream. I want to thank everyone who joined me in the stream tonight. I thank everyone who came and watched me do this whole process. If you stuck around through the entire stream, I thank you very much. It really means a lot. I thank you for all the support you guys give me. And I hope you had a oh, there goes my battery saying low power. Thank you all for watching so much. All the support you guys give me really helps out the channel a lot. See you guys later.